we have the testimony of Our Lady in apparitions that are, in appearances of Our Lady that are approved of by the Church, which suggest awfully strongly, in fact you can't contradict it really if you're truthful, that there's going to be a visitation, a heavenly visitation of mankind by God in punishment of mankind's sins. I don't see how anybody can get away with that unless he wants, like John the 23rd, to deny the validity of any of these.
So we're perhaps in an Old Testament situation, let's say, like before the flood at the time of Noah, where God is going to impose some type of punishment on mankind.
That's right. That's right.
Because the people had grown wicked.
That's right, and this is God's way of doing it. And it's not simply a flood, it's not simply a disease or a plague, it's something far worse. And it's very hard to get away from that conclusion unless you're a total cynic and you don't accept any approved appearance of Our Lady, appearances approved by the Church. If you do, that's fine, but you may have a rude surprise someday. And I don't think you can do that. You can't get away with that. So I think that the Queen of Heaven has quite manifestly warned us that in our lifetimes, that is within this span of decades, there's going to be trouble. And I think there is. I think the big factor, Bernard, is what happens in the skies. If I can explain myself. I think that keep your eyes on the skies is a very good motto. I think that Our Lady's sign is going to appear in the skies soon, not late. I think it's going to come as a shock to everybody. It's going to alert everybody that there is a God and that they are redevable, as the French say, that they are responsible to Him. It won't convert anybody. It'll confirm those with faith. It may help those who are quavering in their faith. It won't give anybody any faith. It'll just show him where he or she is in God's sight. But it won't make them believe. And I think that is coming soon. In other words, I don't think the present situation where the Church is dying by dribs and drabs, like its Pope is dying in dribs and drabs, I don't think that's going to go on indefinitely until the Church dies out. I think it's going to be hit hard by what appears in the skies. And I don't mind climbing out on a limb on that matter. In fact, I'll say this much, and this is the beginning of spring. I'd say that if by the end of spring there is a sign in the sky, in the human skies that we see, an abnormal happening, then we can say that the big change is coming fast. If there's nothing, then the big change is coming later. But it's coming.
And of course Our Lady has worked this way in the past. Let's say before, it wasn't the Second World War, there was a sign from heaven or from Our Lady that the Second World War was coming.
But nobody paid any attention to it. The only person who paid attention to it was Hitler. You know that?
No.
Yep. Hitler was in Berchtesgaden, his wolf's lair, the night of the big, what they called Aurora Borealis. And he was standing there watching this, all his main people. Goering was there, and Goebbels was there, and Himmler was there, and they were watching this, and his main aides. And they said, Führer, was denken Sie? What do you think? What do you think? He said, now we're going to shed blood. Now we have to shed blood. By that time he had gobbled up Czechoslovakia, he had gobbled up Austria, he had taken what he liked, and he said, now it's cost us no blood. Not one German has died. Now we're going to shed blood. That was his reading of it. Whereas in America, in Europe, they said this is Aurora Borealis. Whenever we knew it wasn't Aurora Borealis. They knew it was something special. But they never knew it. That doesn't appear in the New York Times at the time. They hid it all. Just as in 1986, when the miracle of Fatima took place in Rome and was photographed by Rai Televisione, and they wouldn't show it in America. They showed it all over Europe, but they wouldn't show it in America. What happened was, just an anecdote, but it does illustrate Our Lady's, the suppression of Our Lady's news by the media. There's a place called Tre Fontane, the Three Fountains, where Our Lady has a shrine, and every year there's a celebration there on the 12th of April. That's the anniversary. And the cameras were there because there were always cardinals there. It was a big celebration. There were 12 cardinals there, and they were all photographing the events, the mass and the procession, the sermon, etc. And suddenly the sun started dancing around, so they just moved the cameras up and took it. I have the tape. They took a complete tape of it. And it's very frightening. It's Fatima, the sun dancing around, coming at you, and changing colours. And all of Europe saw, but nobody in America saw.
So we could be in a situation similar to Fatima, where these signs are not widely talked about or reported in the media.
That's right. We are in that situation, and they will not announce it. They do not want to give any publicity to heaven and to heaven's signs. But you see, when there will be a sign which they can't neglect, because everybody will see it no matter where they are, be in Kathmandu, Nepal, or be on the top of Mount Everest, or be in the Gobi Desert, or on the Great Reef, or in the Pampas, or in Chile, or in Alaska. No matter where you are, you're going to see this sign. You will see it. It will appeal to you directly, personally. That's the terrible thing that's going to come. And then the effect that's going to be big. Now, my belief, and I don't see how anybody can get away from it unless we're all crazy and things are all upside down, and that is coming very soon.